my name is Lorna Cruz. I am one of the narrators for the Hawaiian Railway Society. And today I'm here with my dad. Hi, Dad.
Hello.
This is Benjamin Dela Cruz, and he's going to share a little bit about his experience with the Hawaiian Railway. So thanks for being here.
Glad to be here.
So would you mind just sharing, what do you do at the Hawaiian Railway Society?
I am the caretaker of the yard. Try to keep everything in place at night. Try to keep the guys out. During the day, I repair the locomotives, the trains, the tractors. Try to keep everything running.
What about the caretaker side of it? What is that?
Caretaker side is we make sure everything is locked at the end of the day, open in the beginning of the day. Go around checking the yard in the evening after when everybody go home for the day, and at night.
Okay. How did you get involved with the society?
Well, I used to work at Pearl. I used to repair the ships at Pearl or Dry Dock 4. And I was at home one day, and my mom told me, hey, she found a newspaper clip of the Hawaiian Railway was looking for volunteers. They need to they need help with getting the locomotives, a couple of the locomotives running. So she knew I like working on classic stuff because I get classic cars and stuff. So I went down and I talked to Tom, and I started volunteering over there and helped them got two of the locomotives running, the 420, I think it was 423 and 174. What happened?
Oh, sorry. How did you feel when you started, when you first started volunteering? Do you remember your first day?
Yeah, my first day I went there with just shorts and slippers and.
Very not safe. That's okay.
But hey, just like I thought I was just going there just to have the guy show me around, but I actually went there. That was my actually first day, so. So my first day was 2 days later after that.
Oh, so you looked around.
Yeah, we looked around to show me all the equipment, the two locomotives I was working on, some of the tractors, and then I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was looking at Tanker Roger at the time. They wanted to work on that, and that was part of the projects to get that all painted up and get ready for display.
Oh, okay. Well, focusing more on the mechanic side of what you do. Mm-hmm. So what goes into that whole process? What do you do?
So same old tune-ups. They go by hours. You go to 150 to 200 hours, then you get your oil change and filters, and do your inspections, checking all the wheels, the grease on the wheels, the brakes, the side rods, making sure the traction motor is all good, the electrical, the lights, the switches inside the cab, and just keeping all that up to check and make sure he's all ready to go when the rides come. Yeah.
Because I think at the Hawaiian Railway you do routines, but it's also sometimes it just happens out of nowhere.
Yes. Sometimes the machines can run real good, and all of a sudden it just takes the dives. So the traction motor will go bad. And that is a process all by itself. We have a little bridge at the yard where we put the locomotive on, and we jack. It's up about 2 feet, 2.5 feet. We jack them up about 6 inches, and we have enough room to actually disconnect the truck and break it down and take the truck out, and we disassemble the truck to get to the traction motor. And sometimes we have extras on hand. Sometimes we have to send it to the mainland, and that's like about 2-3 week process wait to have to until the thing come back.
Yeah. And when fixing the locomotives, like, have you ever had an experience where it was like a very stressful event of fixing it, like on a ride or something like that?
A couple of times on a ride with one of the engines, the front or back engine would conk out, dies out. They can't get it started. So when the train is going on the ride, I'm in the engine compartment, and I'm over there working on them and try to get them. By the time we get down to our ice cream stop, 80% of the time I get them started ready to come back.
Yes, you're definitely an instrumental part of how our rides keep going sometimes. So we definitely are thankful for all that you do. And a part of what you do is track and maintenance. So would you mind going a little bit more in depth about it?
We do track. When I was on track work, I used to do track inspection every Fridays. Go down, check the track, make sure it's all ready to for the weekend rides. Every Saturday we do track work. It's go down to changing ties, checking for journal bars if it's cracked, journal bar bolts if it's rusty, we have to change them, rust it out. On the weekends, we go down, me and maybe some guys, around 7 guys, will go down to the track, and we have a designated area that we know we got to work on. We get to that area, change the ties, and make sure it's leveled and safe for the ride.
What are some of the equipments and things that you use to do track and maintenance?
We have a speeder, and we use that for, that's our track inspection speeder. It's a little speeder that was built in 1947, and we go on that. We carried 2 flat cars with all the tools and ballasts on. We have, the comfort of tools, we have a temper, shovels, picks, rail hammers, and so we have all those tools to do track work.
And when you do track work and maintenance, is it done using like modern techniques? Like how is that done?
We do it the old-fashioned way. The only machine we have is the Unimog, and all that machine does is put old ties out and put the new ones in. Everything is done by hand. The tamping, putting the ballast on. Every once in a while we have a temper, and what that does is it has to do to call it fingers, where you show the ballast on the ties, and it pushes the rocks underneath the ties to keep it up off the ground. So when rain, the water got easy flow to come out. It doesn't just stay in that one area. But 99% of the time, we all do everything by hand.
Wow. So how long does it normally take? Like if you were to go out?
About 2 to 3 hours, depending. If we only have a couple ties, that will take about 2 hours. If we have more than that, then it'll take can take about 4 hours. Sometimes take about a week, depending how bad the track is.
Does it also depend on like the weather, temperature-wise? Does that affect your work at all when you're out there?
No. If it's cool, that's good, because that means we're not hot. Most of the time, it's like a desert out there. I mean, you had 90 degrees temperature with no wind, and and sometimes we have no shade.
Right. So how do you guys try to, I guess not solve the problem, but what do you guys do to kind of help yourselves when it is hot? Like,
bring a lot of water. We bring hats. We wear hats. Try to keep cool. We take breaks. I always tell the guys, take breaks. If they're tired, rest. Don't try to force you guys, because you're just going to hurt yourself. So I make sure the guys take their breaks, drink a lot of water, wear their hats, and just try to keep it safe for everybody.
Right. And you've been at the organization for how long?
Ending of 2012.
Ending of 2012. Wow, that is quite a long time. Has there any like changes within yourself? Like maybe when you started, you were a certain way, but it's the company has helped you grow in some aspect.
Teach me patience.
Oh.
You need a lot of patience. That's the main one. Patience. You know, we're so used to that, you know, when something breaks down, we gotta get it fixed.
Right.
But working at the society, something breaks, if we get the parts, we get it fixed right away. Most of the 80% of the time, we just, you know, we gotta have patience. You know, call the mainland, we gotta call around the railroad stations in the mainland to find the part that we need so we can get this certain thing fixed. And yeah, when I started, it was like, you know, there was no patience. But now you learn, okay, we know about that, okay. So we just take our time and looking for them. We won't find them, we just need patience.
Yes, I agree, definitely. I've grown in that area. With the equipment that you get, like the materials and stuff, is it normally very easily accessible?
Are you talking about the locomotives and stuff?
Yeah, like easy to get?
No. The traction motors, if we always try to have extras on hand, so that way we can take the truck out, you know, put them on the bridge, take the truck out, take them apart, get out of traction, take the traction motor out, put the good one back in, and put them in. I usually can get that thing done within a day. Most of the time we don't have the parts, and that take anywhere from 3 weeks to about a month.
Right.
Yeah. Even brakes, you know, sometimes before brakes going bad, we get in low. It'll take us 3 to 4, sometimes even 5 months to find a place to make the brakes for the train. Yeah. So now we have some place that actually in the mainland they actually make the brakes for our locomotives. So now when we need brake, we just call them up and then they send them down.
Oh, that's awesome. So they create it from scratch?
Yep. For the brakes originally was cast iron.
Oh.
Cast iron brakes. They weigh about 45 pounds one.
Yeah.
And how we used to put them on top, that's 8 pads that we get to change on one locomotive. So, you know, after you get to the 4th one, you're like, so the brakes that we have now is lighter. It's not cast iron. It's what they call it? I forgot the name of it. It's a lot lighter than the cast iron brakes.
So it's easy to handle.
Oh yeah, easy for handle, easy to put on. They're a little bit thicker than the originals, which is good.
Oh.
Sometimes you got to take out the brake rods just to hook up the brakes. You know, sometimes we're lucky the thing just pops right on.
Right.
Yeah. It's a long process.
So do you think this new one or this thicker material, will it last longer than?
It lasts longer than it lasts longer than the cast iron ones.
Oh wow, that's good.
A lot quieter. The cast iron one make big noise.
We love modern technology. But yeah, so with your, like, you are the superintendent of operational equipment, so what you do not only is engines and train, but you also fix other things, right?
Tractors, all the tractors. Tractors, we trim the trees in the yard, keep the grass, cut the grass, keep the place presentable, especially in the front paving area, because that's the first place that people see when they come in.
Right.
So we do all yard work. Sometimes we do some gardening sometimes. Not my favorite part, but
not a green thumb.
Yeah,
not a green thumb. Wow, so you're pretty much like an all-around guy. Because the way you're saying it, you're like, yeah, I'm on the train, I fix it, I fix the other stuff that's there, but I'm also like cleaning up the not cleaning up the locomotive, but cleaning up the picnic areas. So you're pretty much anywhere and everywhere.
Right. Yeah. Operating the locomotive. Sometimes I operate the locomotive and working on them at the same time.
It's definitely an interesting sight to see, for sure. Yes, I've seen you do that a few times. So when you started, how did you start to get to doing all the things you're doing now? What was that journey like?
A very interesting one. Well, I was working alongside with Lou, and I was his right-hand man, and he was the one that taught me a lot of how to work on the locomotives.
Oh.
Not just with the diesel engines, but the locomotive itself.
Was it different? Because you already had that mechanical.
Oh yeah, automotive
knowledge.
And had some knowledge with diesels, but he taught me to be more about diesels and really how to work on the locomotives and the cars and everything. So I went learning planning from him, and then it came to a point where he could do more things now because his stuff needed to get done with the locomotive, or the locomotive broke down. I was there doing that when he was with someplace else doing some other stuff to get other things running. And then along the thing, I started working on, cutting the grass and all that stuff, all the way down to what I do now.
So it was all, when you started, it was mostly background, stuff like that, the mechanics, the yard work.
Yeah.
So how did you get from doing the background stuff to kind of being more forefront? Because you're also an engineer.
Right.
So how did you go from that to also that?
Well, I learned that from Willie, being an engineer. Willie was more, local. So I remember I was leaving in the cab, and I asked him, I said, "Hey, Willie, so how you operate the locomotive?" And his way was, it's easy. This is the throttle, this is the locomotive brake, this is the train brake, that's the gauges. And I go, okay. So I go, so what the gauges is? You drive your car. Oh, yeah? You step on the brake, you stop it too fast, you let go of the brakes, you roll some more, something like this. So you let go. And he goes like, you push this, you see that? Yeah, see the thing going up? That's how the thing goes. The higher the thing go, the faster you stop it.
Yeah.
But he never really explained,
Very local.
So, meaning was like, I kind of understand what he was saying, so I was like, oh, okay. So, I went and learned from him.
Hey, you learned.
Or you can say the local way, I guess.
His teaching was effective, because now you're the best. So.
Not the best, but no.
Maybe I'm biased.
I remember I used to when I started driving the locomotive, it was always forward. I never used to go back. I was afraid to drive them backwards.
Oh yeah, because we don't use a turnaround track.
Yeah, we don't have a turnaround track. We just go forward and back.
Yeah.
So the first time, oh man, I remember the first time I learned how to drive the train back from Steve.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who's our one of our managers and stuff.
And I remember, man, I think I lost 5 pounds. I was sweating so bad.
Did you see my face? I was so concerned. I was like, what do you mean you lost 5 pounds?
It was more spooky driving the boat back than going forward, let me tell you.
Oh, so you're sweating from nervousness?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, got it. Oh, got it. I thought you were just hot.
No.
Oh. So you learned from him, and then eventually you were able to do it on your own. Because it's not you can just do it. Because there's tests and things you have to do to get to that position. Yeah.
You get. When I did my test, I did for diesel and steam. When I did my test.
Even though we didn't have steam.
Yeah.
Oh, so if we do have a steam, you don't have to read.
No, you still got to do it. You're supposed to do them. I think it's every 5 years or something like that.
Oh, got it.
So. If they ever run on steam again, then I'm gonna have to do the tests all over again. So I did the test for steam, diesel, and then also you had tests for do track work.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. Just to know how to handle the equipment?
How to align the track and keep it straight. That was pretty much what was the test about. How many inches the track had to be.
Oh.
You know.
Yes.
Yeah. The turns, how many inches the turns has to be. You know, he's not supposed to be, 3 feet all the way around. You know, you gotta give the wheels time to breathe.
Right. Okay. So out of the 3, because we basically talked about how you are the mechanic, so you fix the train. You also do track maintenance and work.
Yes.
And then there's the caretaker side, right?
Yes.
So out of all the 3, what would you say you have the most joy doing, and then which one do you find the most challenging?
Working in the shop, I have both fun. Being one caretaker is even more stressing because you're responsible for everything in the yard when everybody go home.
Right, and it's a lot.
So yeah, you get 3 acres of.
Yeah.
So I usually do a run after everybody go home, make sure everything's locked up, and then late at night I go again and check it, make sure nobody's staying in the yard. Like this morning, there was a homeless lady in the yard making home next to the speeder.
Right. So stuff like that, you got to keep your eyes out for.
Right. So I had to tell her that she had to leave. Yeah, and she did. So wasn't no problem there.
Yeah.
It's the kind of stuff you gotta watch out for. So lucky for me, if things go missing, because it's all free game on one side of the yard that anybody can go in and out.
There's not much you can do.
Well, it's not much. Yeah, it's not much I can do. And if things go missing, they're not really. Oh, you wasn't doing your job,
Right.
Versus if the place was enclosed,
Okay.
a little bit different.
Right. Yeah, I definitely think caretaking, because you already have so much, so caretaking is that extra responsibility.
And you're pretty much on call, being a caretaker, because if on my day off, if I'm out doing something and something happens in the yard, I have to come back.
Right.
So every time I go out on my day off, I like keep my fingers crossed, like, okay.
You start praying, like, please let it be okay. All right, well, moving away from like the topic of what you do, because obviously it's a lot and it can be, very challenging. Like, what motivates you to keep going?
Watching all this, everybody that come to the yard. My payoff is watching everybody being happy, smiling. People always tell me we're doing a good job. Especially the kids. These kids nowadays, they're full on into trains.
Yeah.
And one time I was doing one tour, and this little, I think he's like 5 years old, he started, doing the tour, and I was like, whoa, I let him go. And everybody's fine. Everything what he was saying about every locomotive in there, the Power car, Code 57, all that was on spot.
Wow.
And we just was walking with him, and he was just telling everybody about the locomotive and the history. And when I talked to the parents said, yep, everything is railroad.
That's
That little boy knew more than me.
He's pretty soon gonna take your job. No, yeah, that's really awesome. Especially because, like mentioned earlier, like railroading is definitely a very unique, special thing we have on the island, and it's not. Old Hawaii is not something very common on the island, so it's pretty cool to see little kids still be interested in trains and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So that's what motivates you to keep going, just the feedback.
Feedback, and everybody, watch everybody being so happy to ride the train, learn about the history, and especially when they come up to, oh, good job, we're like, yes.
So keep doing it, guys. We love that. We love that.
It's good to get that sometimes, like, okay, yeah.
I'm not needed, but it's like, it's like extra
extra
push.
boost.
Yeah. All right, well, as we end this little discussion, like, what would you tell someone if they're asking why they should come to the Hawaiian Railway? Like, what's so cool and special about it?
Well, I was trying to calm down, look at all of the equipment that we have. I mean, every equipment has a history. Every equipment you look at, there's a history about it, you know. And they ask me, oh, you know. So I tell them that, you know, come here, every equipment has a history. You like questions, I can give you one tour. That's what keeps me going. Every time when somebody asks, "Oh, what's this?" Every chance I get, I try to give the history. When walk around in the yard,
Yes.
you know, they can't find me in the shop. They see a bunch of people, they're gonna see me though.
Yes. Very much Portuguese. So if you ever come ride the train, he's open to talk to you.
Always tell them, ride the train. You know more about the history of our narrators. You know, they'll tell you more about the history on the train. There's not too many spots that you can see old Hawaii anymore, but they'll point them out to you. And they say, oh yeah, they'll come back. They come back, and sure enough, they're like, hey, I told you I came back. Hey, good.
Yeah, it's really cool to see like the reoccurring
Yeah.
families that come like every year.
Oh yeah.
So, well, yeah, well, thank you so much for being with me today and sharing a little bit about your experience and all the cool stuff at the Hawaiian Railway.
Sure.
We hope this invites you to come to ride the train, come meet and talk story with us, specifically him, because he's very Portuguese. So yeah, thank you so much. Aloha.
Yep.